It looked like I was going to be wrong on my Mets prediction. And then Francisco Lindor showed up.
He is just him.
We got that. The Yankees win. The Yankees win. Thank you, John Sterling. It's good to hear him back in the booth. 49ers and Seahawks tonight. I'll provide a preview. And Chris Dietz will join us for hour 2 with all kinds of college football. All right, Shane, let's hear it.
Ew. You mean this? Let's go!
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Because we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh, yeah! Let's go. Good morning. Welcome to the Tripped Out Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. This hour is brought to you by BetUS.com. Use the code Snowman to get a 125% deposit match on your initial deposit. BetUS.com, where the games begin. We also invite you to subscribe to our brand new YouTube page. That's youtube.com/@SITmorning, because beginning in January, we will air exclusively there. And we want to welcome those of you that are watching via Zebo, our West Coast network carrier. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. Thank you all on WJKS in Indianapolis, Indiana, and WLEO in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, that's it.
Wow. What a day yesterday.
I'm telling you, it is going to be that type of a playoff series where I can guarantee you the World Series is going to go 7. No matter who is in it, it's going 7.
The LCS could go 7 also, both ways.
Easily.
The LCS could go 7 both ways.
We'll
get to all of that. But first, here's a quick version of the Whip Around presented by Fanatics. And we start in the world of tennis. Well, Rafael Nadal is going to retire after the 2024 season. The multi-time Grand Slam winner is hanging up his racket. We wish you, Nadal, nothing but the best, my friend. You have delighted the tennis world with your play and with your work off the court. So congratulations to you, your career, and your retirement. And I believe if there's a Tennis Hall of Fame, you're in it on the first ballot. The New Orleans Saints will turn to Spencer Rattler as Derek Carr has suffered an oblique injury and there is no timetable on his return. Derek Carr was hurt this past Sunday. Spencer Rattler, good luck.
Yeah.
And that's the whip around presented by Fanatics. Coming up.
Luck was changing for Derek Carr.
I thought it was too. Coming up after the break, Francisco freaking Lindor.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets close out the Phillies with one swing of the bat. What is next for the 2-seed Philadelphia Phillies? We'll talk about all that and break it down and break down the Mets' improbable run to the National League Championship Series. This is Snowman in the Morning. Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
We were always hippies at heart, I guess, and that was one way that we showed it before we became full-time RVers.
Yeah, we were definitely living small and minimally.
What made us decide to go with Battleborn was everyone from their top leadership team down to their service department helped us so much the whole way through. Our relationship with Battleborn is so much more than business. And me and Dennis love to jam together. We've played together multiple times, and that's been an awesome transition. Be able to learn so much more about the business, also just make some awesome friends.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
I forgot to greet the crew. The big dog Shane Lake is with me. Vic Allah joins us from our world headquarters in Chicago. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
What up?
And don't forget, folks, later on this month, Snowman's coming home.
I am indeed. Snowman and his queen come home to Chicago. That's October 22nd and 23rd. And Snowman in the Morning will be live from near McCormick Place, starting at 7 a.m. Central Time, going till 9. So join us, won't you, when the Snowman comes home to Chicago, October 22nd and 23rd. We'll be live on the lakefront. I can't wait for that.
I like that. Live from the lakefront.
Live from the lakefront. Because that's where we're staying.
Right. I've seen that Hyatt before by McCormick Place. I've never been there, but I've seen that place. It looks really nice.
I can't wait just to get the hell away from here with my beauty for a couple of days.
Right. Just like a little vacation.
I get a chance to feed her some pizza. But she also made a request of me. She says, I want to try some other stuff too. All right, be ready.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just be ready.
Right.
It's gonna be so wonderful to be home. And I'm gonna get a little personal here on this segment before we talk some baseball, because I put some plans in place. It's about time y'all knew them. I have a contract in the works with Jed TV in Northwest Indiana to broadcast Indiana Northwest Athletics.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to get that situated. I'm in the process of doing DoorDash and grabbing a rental car so I can drive my beauty and I around safely as my car goes in piece by piece for its repairs. I'm also on the docket to buy myself a truck and to surprise my wife by paying off hers. I plan to do all of that by Valentine's Day, using this vehicle, using our play-by-play vehicle, and using DoorDash as well. Those are my 3 weapons to use. The website, snowmanmultimedia.net, will be up, live, and running November 1st. And snowmaninthemorning.com will be up, live, and smoking November 1st as well. There's a lot of plans in place with me, with the crew, with my bride and my family, and we're going to execute them all as Snow Enterprises begins to rise, and Snowman Multimedia will take over the media market. That's Snowman's take. What is yours? To baseball, and oh my God, Flushing, New York
is going nuts.
They lost their damn. They lost their damn mind last night.
And you know, Dietz is going crazy.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be in a mood when he shows up in the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be crazy.
Oh man, it's gonna be so nutty, and I love every single minute of it.
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
I do too.
This is what the postseason's about.
It really is.
Moments like what we had in Citi Field last night.
Like I said, I love every single minute of it.
I'm telling you,
that
just shows how unpredictable this series can the series can be.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure JJ just not. JJ don't sound off.
I called JJ yesterday, and he asked me, "Do you think the Phillies will win?" I told him no. and for the reason of their bullpen, because their bullpen gave this up. Oh, I messed that up.
Try again. Take two.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. And I know, I think I know where I put it. But man, one swing of the bat. This is why I adore baseball so much, especially during playoff time. One swing of the bat determines everything.
Yes, it does.
Especially when it comes off somebody's stick like Lindor.
Yeah.
Lindor came into the party hot anyway.
Right. Yeah, he did.
Right? Lindor came into the party hot anyway. Pete Alonso woke up
in the playoffs.
And for those of you that thought, okay, we get rid of Pete Alonso, I'm going to tell the Mets something. Don't.
Right.
You just figured out why. You are seeing why you should keep him. He drove in some big runs during this series.
Massive runs.
He's the reason they got out of Milwaukee.
One swing of the bat.
Yeah.
One swing of the bat.
He's legitimately the reason they walked out of Milwaukee and went to Philly.
Because Milwaukee looked like they were going to shut him out and go to Philadelphia. And I'll guarantee you, Philadelphia would have won that series.
Oh, easily.
Period.
It would have been a 3-game sweep. I can guarantee.
It'd have been finished in Milwaukee. But because it's Francisco Lindor and the Mets, man,
I'm telling you right now,
Francisco Lindor.
These are the cardiac kids of the playoffs.
They weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs, but that one win in Atlanta gave them the wild card spot against Milwaukee. And Pete Alonso took it from there. And y'all heard that call.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
It was that split in the doubleheader that did it for the Mets at the end of the season.
And that was the game they needed.
They
needed to get one of those two to ensure themselves a trip to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Because had they lost both of those games, they were in Atlanta.
Right.
Had they lost both of those games, they were out. And it would have been Arizona.
Thank you. You're right. So the Mets needed to get one.
Mets needed to get one.
Atlanta gets pounded by San Diego.
Yep. And that series is tied up at 2 going back across the 401.
To Southern California for a 5th and deciding game. And we will get to that. Why isn't that a National League Championship series, man?
If only it was.
Why isn't that a championship series?
We should be.
Yeah, we talked about one swing of the bat, which brings us our call of the day, presented by Cricket Wireless, the official wireless carrier of Snow Enterprises and Snowman Multimedia. Howie Rose, take it away.
Now the pitch. Swing and a drive towards the gap in right center. It's pretty deep. It's back near the wall. It's gone. It's gone. Francisco Lindor. He may have just outdone himself. He has hit a grand slam into the Phillies bullpen in right center field. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-1. They were famished for the big hit all night, and Francisco Lindor just provided a feast.
And a feast he did provide. Our thanks to WCBS Radio, the legendary Howie Rose on the call. The video you saw is courtesy of Fox.
And how apropos, just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about what's more exciting or what's more gripping, a walk-off slam or a triple play to end a series. And then that happens.
Frankie hits one in the bottom of the 6th.
Lindor just goes yard with the bases juiced up.
You know what? I screamed my head off when I saw that. Honestly, I screamed my head off. And I'm happy for the Mets.
I am too.
I was a fan. Once upon a time, I was a fan of the Mets. Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden, Howard Johnson, Gary Carter. Those Mets I adored. Okay.
Right.
And these Mets are making me adore them. They are indeed, and I say this every year when we talk playoffs, gentlemen. They are indeed the wildest of the wild cards. Because who expected the Mets to get here to the National League Championship Series?
Right. The thing is, like, they've always been seen as the little brother when it comes to New York baseball. Because it's always been the Yankees. It's always been the Yankees part of town.
Yep.
Now doesn't it remind you of what happened in 2005?
Yes, it does. Funny you should mention that.
Well, the White Sox were considered the little brother compared to the Cubs.
The White Sox have always been a little brother compared to the Cubs, but then
True.
2005 happened.
True.
But now here you have the Mets going to the NLCS, and I couldn't be happier for them, man. Let's just see how far this wild ride goes.
If they get the Dodgers, I don't care. Well, let me make a bold prediction here. It doesn't matter who the Mets will face in the NLCS. They're going to win it.
Right.
I truly believe in the Mets winning the National League Championship Series, and I'll give you a reason why. His name is Sean Manaea.
Yep.
That biting curveball of his was a maniac 2 days ago. He is the reason they were on the brink of clinching. Lindor slammed the door.
Right.
Exactly.
Lindor slammed the door.
And I'll tell you right now, I've been looking over a few things dealing with the game, and I'll tell you where Philadelphia's biggest problem was.
Their bullpen.
They were not just the bullpen. They were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
And that's one of the things JJ and I talked about. Runners in scoring position. How many times, gentlemen, have I preached fundamental baseball? You got runners in scoring position. Get them on, get them over, get them in.
And
that's how teams win.
Didn't we just have this conversation with another team that we talked about? It seems like for some reason, and I don't know if this is just them, this is what they're trying to do. Maybe it's just bad luck. It could be the situation of bad luck and getting into bad situations. But for some reason, it seems like a lot of teams want to just go yard rather than, hit the dribbler that goes past the shortstop. Shoot the gap a little bit and put one in the corner. Put it in the corner right in the wall so that you can get that double or possibly that triple and just get some guys across. That's all you need to do is get people across. It doesn't matter how you do it, just get them across.
I'm going to follow the White Sox and the Astros next year in terms of my live play-by-play.
Okay.
And I think my hometown White Sox are going to be the chief team because I am a fan. And I've been a fan since 1982. The first game I ever went to was at Old Comiskey Park with the yellow banisters and the green seats, and we were sitting third base. We were sitting third base side, and that's where we saw Carlton Fisk, Tony Bernazard, Lamar Hoyt. Y'all remember him? Richard Dotson was our starting pitcher. A year later, I went to three different White Sox games. And one of the games I watched, I saw Floyd Bannister, a lefty that they got in a trade from Seattle, along with Julio Cruz.
It's kind of funny. I would say one of the wildest places I worked at was in Cherion. One of the places where they allowed us to drink at Friday after 3:00. But I remember I had just got done with my work for the day, and my boss was like, "Hey, it's about 2:30. You want to go ahead and get out of here?" I'm like, "What?" He said, "We're planning to go to a White Sox game. You want to come with?" Sure. God, I've never had a boss to say, "We're gonna go to a White Sox game. You want to come with?"
My response would have been, "Oh, hell yeah!"
And that's what my response was.
Now,
got the tickets printed and went out that day.
Nice.
Isn't stuff like that wonderful though?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't stuff like that wonderful?
I'll tell you. Also, looking over the crazier statistics of this game between the Mets and Phillies, get this: Top of the sixth, after Romuto struck out on a foul tip, Philadelphia's win probability was 66%.
Yep.
As soon as Frankie went yard, the momentum swung to the point where the Mets' win probability went to 91%.
Oh, yeah.
And their bullpen closed it out.
When something like that happens, like a big double or triple play or a grand slam, the momentum just shifts immediately, especially a grand slam.
Paul Konerko, anyone?
Went right. The pendulum just swung in a massive way.
Yeah.
Arku is with Arku. Where are you chatting from? We want to introduce you the right way. He's with us, and he says Grimace effect, Snowman. Yeah, I agree with that. He also says it's all because of this purple mascot and the OMG emojis that they show at Citi Field or all around. Phillies, this was the year they had to get it done, and he backs it up with, I knew they wouldn't. I knew they wouldn't also, because the second half of the year, their runners in scoring position percentage dropped like a rock.
Heavily.
And I'll tell you, the other thing they can't do is give up as many walks as they did. Ranger Suarez, in 4 1/3, gave up 4 walks.
That's not good. That's a walk per inning, and it will come back to bite you.
Especially, like, you can't give up free bases. That's
no.
Thank
you,
errors.
Victor. Victor just said something that I say often when we chat baseball. Say it again.
You cannot give up free bases when you're on defense. You cannot give them on walks. You cannot give them up on errors. You have to play tight defense. Otherwise you'll have a situation where the bases are loaded, and all it takes, like I said, one swing of the bat, and the game is over.
Breaking it down further, Ranger Suarez in his 4 1/3 threw 97 pitches, and only 58 of them were strikes.
You can't live that way.
No.
First pitch strikes. You can't live that way.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not be jaded about it. Quintana wasn't that sharp either. 90 pitches, 48 for strikes. It was just the fact he was able to work around things.
And that's
he only gave up the 1 run.
That's the thing, is that you sometimes you have to just pitch around, work over the strike zone, work over the umpire, and that will usually help you out. Because a lot of times we'll throw pitches that we know are out of the zone, but if they are just good enough,
they'll reach back and get it.
Yes,
they'll frame it.
We've seen it. We've seen it. If they frame it, the umpire will give it to them. We've seen it.
Exactly.
We've all seen it.
Yeah.
We have all seen it. All right. Before we go to break, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I was looking at it. Here it is. One more time before we go to break. It's time for our call of the day, presented by Cricket Wireless, the official wireless carrier of Snowman Multimedia. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and Howie Rose is on the call.
Now the pitch. Swing and a drive towards the gap in right center. It's pretty deep. It's back near the wall. It's gone.
Thank you, Howie Rose. Thank you, Howie Rose.
Yes, indeed.
That's our call of the day, presented by Cricket Wireless, the official wireless carrier of Snowman in the Morning and Snowman Multimedia. Coming up after the break, I am legitimately scared for my beat-up 49ers tonight as they face the Seattle Seahawks. But I'm also confident. We'll break down that game, and then we'll take you into hour 2. Snowman in the Morning continues in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete, 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 delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
We were always hippies at heart, I guess, and that was one way that we showed it before we became full-time
And we RVers. were definitely living small and minimally.
What made us decide to go with Battleborn was everyone from their top leadership team down to their service department helped us so much the whole way through. Our relationship with Battleborn is so much more than business. And me and Dennis love to jam together. We've played together multiple times, and that's been an awesome transition. Be able to learn so much more about the business. Also, just make some awesome friends.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Indeed, Chris Simpson is on the way to help us break down Thursday Night Football, and he is here. I'm sorry I don't have his intro ready. My fault. I leaned back in this chair and I fell asleep. But our Thursday morning guest, who has been a godsend to us to help us break down tonight's game between the 49ers and the Seahawks. Here he is. His name is Chris Simpson. It's time for Simpson's Football Chatter. And he's with us right now. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. How's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's going on? As always, thanks for having me.
Oh, man. Pleasure to have you. Is this a make or break game for the defending NFC champion 49ers?
Absolutely, because they haven't really come out the gate swinging, and they missed two key players. Look, we can say what we want about Christian McCaffrey because you know the dynamic that he's going to bring to this offense. He does it as a runner. He does it as a passer. He's almost another safety valve for Brock Purdy. Then on the defensive side, the 49ers miss Dre Greenlaw.
Oh, boy, they do.
He is, I think, the most important piece of that San Francisco defense. He's their best run stopper. And look at how teams are attacking the 49ers. They're running it right into the teeth of that defense. And Brian, you know, I have a saying, the 49ers are the most physical team in the league. And when you punch them in the mouth and you give them a taste of their own medicine, I often find myself saying, the bully don't like to get bullied.
It's true. The bully does not like to get bullied. And the Niners have been bullied, especially in two games, the Rams and the Cardinals. They held a 10-point lead. All they needed was a couple of defensive stops, and they did not come. So I agree. This is a make or break game for San Francisco. But I also believe they can go to Seattle, as beat up as they are. I believe they can go to Seattle and get this one.
Yeah, I do too, because I don't know which version of Seattle is going to show up.
Exactly.
Because I look at Seattle, you look at them the other day, and they didn't look the greatest against the New York Giants. I mean, giving up the 7 sacks. So what makes you think the 49ers won't tee off on Seattle?
Right.
And if there were ever a get-right game for the 49ers defense, I think tonight is the night, because I believe Seattle only ran the ball 7 to 8 times against the Giants, and that's just simply not going to cut it.
True. I think the big thing also, and Snowman, you've touched on this so many times, is red zone touchdown efficiency.
Oh my gosh.
The 49ers cannot afford to leave points on the field.
In the 2 games that they lost within the division, which puts them behind the 8 ball as it is. So they got to run through the division and they got to run through the division and win the rest of their games, or if not, their division title hopes are gone. But I still believe they can come back and get the division. But Victor brought up a very valid point, and it's my biggest criticism in the Kyle Shanahan era. I said it since day one. They leave points on the table. That's not the 49ers that I know.
No, it's not. And look, when you're in that red zone, you got to come away with points. 3 isn't always going to settle things, nor will it win you football games. You got to come away with 6. And another issue that the 49ers have at times is the inability to convert on third down.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think people realize the significance of converting your third downs. I call it the money down, because you cash in. When you convert, 1, it keeps your offense on the field. 2, it keeps their defense on the field. 3, it keeps their offense on the sideline. And 4, it keeps your defense rested and relaxed on the sideline. You got to win third down, because if you don't, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah. I mean, only 6 for 15 on third downs on Sunday. 6
not
for
gonna cut
15. I'll say it again. This is not the 49ers team that I know. Now, a lot of it can be blamed on the injuries, but you mentioned one key name that I knew they were going to miss this year, and that's Dre Greenlaw, who was out for the year with a torn ACL. Of course, he injured it in the Super Bowl. Okay, let me pose this question. With Robert Saleh recently being fired, should the 49ers pounce?
Why not? I mean, he's familiar. He knows Kyle Shanahan. Why not? I mean, I agree. I think it'd be great for him, because he's more of a coordinator. Even though I thought he got a little bit of a bad rap out here. The way I look at it, he was never really given a roster to compete. They never really gave him a chance. And then you bring in an aging quarterback, he gets hurt. The Jets are just never the same after that. And the Jets haven't looked good. But I think Robert Saleh would be great back in San Francisco, because he bring back some energy.
And Arku said something perfect, and I know you'll agree with this, Chris, because we've talked about it off and off the air. Robert Saleh was set up to fail with the Jets.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
Couldn't agree with you anymore.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. Could not agree with that statement anymore, because it's the facts.
He was set up to fail in New York with all the pieces that were put around him, and he had no say. In the 4 years that he was with the Jets, he had no say in the pieces on the roster that he was going to get. You don't do that to a head coach.
Absolutely. But that's unfortunately, that's the tangled web we ski.
Yep, that is indeed. Looking ahead to this weekend, who is another team that you feel has a must-win game?
I'm gonna say the Cincinnati Bengals, because they're 1-4. They have not looked good this year. Joe Burrow's having a great year, and we all know it's the easy thing to give the quarterback props when you're winning, but then when they're losing, the quarterback
takes all the blame.
Takes all the blame. Yep. But here's the thing: the last time I checked, the quarterback doesn't play on the defensive side of the ball.
That's true.
He just controls. He just controls one side of the ball. which is the offensive side. And I mean, he put the Bengals and Joe Burrow put the Bengals in so many positions to win that game, but the defense let them just failed them. And my thing is, this is why I can't say the Bengals are back. You know, they failed, and they've really regressed so much since going to the Super Bowl. I know they've made it.
Say that again, please. Say that again, please, because I've said the same thing on this show for the past 2 years.
Yeah, they've regressed. They haven't really improved since the year they went to the Super Bowl. I know they made it to another AFC Championship game, but to me, what set the tone for this season was when they lost to New England. That was the game they shouldn't have lost.
Yes.
I just think the Jamar Chase situation, that's really been a bigger distraction than they're letting on. And I think the biggest thing, they miss Joe Mixon. Look at what Joe Mixon is doing.
Yeah. I thought about this because I actually watched the Baltimore Cincinnati game, and it was just a heartbreaker of a game because it really came down to just one bobble spot.
It wasn't even, Victor, it wasn't even that necessary. I agree with you, but why not run it a couple of yards?
I agree.
You like, yo, get your guy in the right possession, and that was a head scratcher right there.
Did you not say that? Did you not say that, Victor? Did you not say that during our live coverage on Sunday?
It was a head scratcher of a game because really it didn't seem like either team really trusted like going with their running back all the way. I mean, not even Baltimore did. Baltimore had a couple runs with Derrick Henry, but it was still more or less Lamar Jackson doing scramble moves, which to be honest, the double stiff arm and then finding Isaac Likely in the end zone was crazy.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was beautiful. Gorgeous. That was gorgeous.
I still feel encouraged if I'm Cincinnati because I mean, I don't think anyone really saw Cincinnati doing anything against Baltimore, and they went back and forth in an absolute war to force overtime.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Coming into that game, I remember saying for Cincinnati, you got to get Baltimore out of their comfort zone. What do the Ravens like to do? They like to ugly games up, or as I like to call it, they love to turn games into street fights. They want to punch you in the mouth, and they want to slow the game down, and they want to ugly the game up. That's their tempo. That's what they want to do. But Cincinnati came out, and I said for the Bengals, they need to turn the game into a track meet, run and gun, push the ball up the field, stretch the field, and they did that. It was their defense that let them down.
They need to speed the game. They need to speed the game. The Bengals have always needed, and this is even during their Super Bowl year, they need to speed the game up. And the last 2.5 years, they have not sped the game up at all. Look at them. They have regressed slowly, and they're still regressing. They're minus a run game. No Joe Mixon, and no one has stepped up to take that role for Cincinnati.
No, they haven't. They haven't at all. And I think if they had to run a more consistent ground attack, they'd be in good shape. But right now, they're 1-4. And to be completely honest with you, I think the Giants may beat them because I don't like what I'm seeing.
I don't like it either.
Bengals and the Bengals, that offensive line. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. If the Bengals don't improve that offensive line, Joe Burrow will become the next Andrew Luck.
Yep. And we'll get pounded. Forget Andrew Luck. David Carr.
Yeah.
David Carr. David Carr-like numbers are awaiting Joe Burrow if they don't fix that offensive line. And even during their Super Bowl year, they didn't fix that offensive line because the Rams should not have gotten to Joe Burrow as many times as they did in the Super Bowl. Let's just say it. They should not have gotten to him that many times.
No, they shouldn't. Yeah, absolutely right.
Man, we're talking football with Chris Simpson. Always a pleasure for him to join us. Let's take a look at one other game. There's a team that is very personal to me and my family that has a get-right game in their face that they can win to even their record. And that team is none other than the Indianapolis Colts. They go to a reeling Tennessee Titans team. And if there's ever a chance for them to get right after they gave one away on Sunday, this is the game that they need.
Yeah, it really is. I I just think Joe Flacco is a better fit from a personnel standpoint than Anthony Richardson because Anthony isn't playing with control.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure a veteran quarterback.
Thank you.
Tennessee, they beat up a bruised up Miami team.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I just don't like what Will Levis is doing. Like every game, it's been a turnover, and they've been extremely bad turnovers at that. I like Tennessee to get back. Lots of Jonathan Taylor, mix of Joe Flacco, getting Michael Pittman the ball, Mo Alley Cox, and the defense handles the rest. I think the Colts bounce back here.
Yeah, I think the Colts bounce back also. I also think the 49ers bounce back tonight. Let's make our predictions. Our predictions are brought to you by betus.com. And Shane, let's get the numbers up for tonight's game. It's the 49ers and the Seahawks. I'll have live play-by-play coverage beginning at 7:45. It'll be presented by betus.com. betus.com, where the game begins. All right, Shane, what are the numbers for tonight?
Well, before we get to the numbers, the injury report for the Niners is Jordan Elliott, Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, Tanaloa Hufanga, and Jake Moody are all out due to injury. Chris Conley and Travarius Ward are questionable. Conley with an oblique and Ward with a knee. The numbers, San Fran favored by 3.5 with the over-under at 49.5.
Oh, I think the Niners cover. I believe the Niners go into Seattle and they cover. And their secret weapon, and we didn't talk about this yet, but I know Chris will agree with me. As I said, we talk a lot often off the air. The secret weapon for the 49ers tonight, J.P. Mason.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're going to have to establish him early on. Whenever the 49ers and the Seahawks play, it's usually a physical battle that comes down to the fourth quarter. I mean, I can't really say the same about Thanksgiving last year, but I think this is a huge game in the division for both teams. Can the 49ers keep Brock Purdy protected? Because this is an improved Seattle defense. This is exactly why they went in and hired Mike McDonald. That front seven has been active, and when your front seven is active, that allows your secondary to naturally make plays upon the football. Then for Seattle, can they get that bad taste out their mouth? It's a new week. You got a big-time divisional game. First place is on the line. One of these teams is going to be in first place at the end of this game, and I think it's going to be San Francisco. I like the Niners here.
I like the Niners also. This is a get-right game. I'll say it, and I'll keep saying it. This is a get-right game for San Francisco up in Seattle, especially given what happened last Thanksgiving, and I was watching it with my wife. I'll tell that story after the break. But I believe the Niners will cover that 3.5, and I believe they'll win going away.
If I'm Seattle, this is my Super Bowl. This is my chance, because the Niners have just been they've been the bull of the woods. They've been the bullies of the West. And I'm pretty sure Seattle wants to finally, get that monkey off their back of not being able to beat them. So they're going to give it all they have, but I see
Seattle has not.
Go ahead, Snowman.
Go ahead, Victor. Go ahead, Victor.
I see San Fran winning this one going away.
Do you see a clean sweep, Shane?
I'll make it unanimous. The run game for San Fran is just way too dominant right now. My only concern is the fact that they don't have Moody kicking the extra points or the field goals if they need it. But I do not trust Seattle in any way, shape, or form right now, especially in their own backyard. I say San Fran wins the game and takes over first in the NFC West.
With all the injuries, with everything that has gone wrong for the 49ers, can you believe they can wrestle away first place? I mean, it was at this point they were 5-0. Then they went through a 3-game losing streak, and they were out of first place. But what did they do when they got back from the bye and they healed up?
When they ran
roughshod.
When they got healthy, they nearly ran a table.
They ran roughshod, save a loss to the Los Angeles Rams at home, and that's because they were resting everybody. But gentlemen, I agree. San Francisco not only gets right this week, they get 10 days off before their next game, so a chance to heal. And the best part about it, they can wrestle first place away from the Seahawks.
Definitely.
I'll give you one more stat to back all of that up. The Seahawks this year so far on third downs, 22 of 59.
Oh, my heart.
I
gotta ask Chris a question before we let him go.
Yeah, let me hear it. Let's hear it.
Because after the Bears won against the Panthers, I had the Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy just chirping away about how we were right. Caleb Williams is true. Caleb Williams is that guy. And I said, how much should we really be taking away from that game? Because while it was an incredibly dominant performance from all of them, incredibly professional from Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift looked great, DJ Moore looked like what we wanted DJ Moore to be. But then you go back and say, but it's Carolina.
Yeah, and I said something on social media, and I even said, listen, when it's funny when a guy is down and he's struggling, the disrespect is so loud.
Yeah.
Whereas when he's on his A game and he's doing what he has to do in order for the team to win, it's crickets. So the respect to me needs to be as loud as the disrespect. And I get. Look, there is a ton of pressure when you're a number one pick, but this kid is slowly but surely learning, and the Bears are in a good position right now. Look, the Bears haven't had a quarterback like this ever. Jay Cutler wasn't that guy. Mitchell Trubisky wasn't that guy. The Bears now have a guy that can stretch the field and take shots and make those clutch throws when you need it. And, I'm happy for them. I really am. But
I said all along, as much as I picked on Caleb Williams, some people have asked me, you need to break down fundamentally what Caleb Williams' problem is. I'll tell you two things. One, his footwork. And two, and this is something Victor highlights, he holds on to the ball way too long.
And we saw that Sunday.
And another thing that he did this in college, and he's done it somewhat in the NFL as well. He goes for the home run play. He wants the big play every time. It's okay. It's okay to hit a single. It's okay to hit a double and get on base. It's okay to check the ball down and get some yards yourself, because
oh man, y'all say that again, because we're preaching here in football in football church today. Say that again, Chris.
He literally goes for the home run play. It's okay. It's okay to hit the single. It's okay to hit the double and get on base.
And I'll tell you one quarterback who learned that quickly in the system that he's in. I believe his last name is Purdy.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You want to coach. You want to cater to a quarterback's strengths. You get what I'm saying? I remember I said this with the Bears when Justin Fields was playing his first start against the Cleveland Browns. I'll never forget it. I got a question. Now, Brian, you and I were talking about this after that game. And my friend asked me, what's the issue? Is it coaching or is it the front office? I'm like, hands down, it's coaching, because Myles Garrett had 4.5 sacks on Justin Fields. And there was no way that Matt Nagy didn't adjust. And I'm just sitting here and I'm saying to myself, why isn't Matt adjusting? Seriously, why isn't he chipping? Why isn't he putting additional guys on the side where Myles Garrett is? And that just leads me to say, you got to cater to your quarterback skill set.
Correct.
What was one thing that Justin Fields liked to do in Chicago? He liked to be mobile, and he likes to make it happen with his feet. And I'll even go as far as to say, look at how Tampa Bay switched their offense up when Tom Brady was there. They got him that pass catching back. They brought in Gronkowski, a guy that he's familiar with. Chris Godwin was his Edelman that could do a little bit more. And, he finally had a guy that could go over the top and stretch the field. And Mike Evans, but you got to put your quarterback in prime position to succeed. Because if you don't, he won't. Plain and simple.
Which brings one final point before we let you go. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has been set up to fail with the Jets. Robert Saleh gets fired. Fingers are pointing, and the owner says that the decision to fire Saleh was mine alone. I call baloney on that.
Yeah, I do too. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys something. You guys are going to laugh. When Aaron Rodgers got traded here to the Jets, Everybody was happy. Everybody was hyped up. Some people will call it Super Bowl. Why they do that, I don't know. But
oh no.
Then you remember I called the Bills and Jets game last year.
Yes, you did.
And then that's when Aaron unfortunately tears his Achilles. And you know, the Jets, they tried their hardest to stay to stay afloat. Then Aaron comes back. He's missing mandatory camps, and he's doing whatever he wants to do. Look, the things that you did in Green Bay, you can't do in New York City.
True.
Plain and simple.
True.
He threw everybody under the bus after the Denver game. But I'm just gonna come right out and say this: I'm a former defensive player, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't scare me like he used to. I want him to throw the ball as many times as he did against Minnesota, because the Jets are a team. They like to grind games out. Breece Hall is the key for them. I just don't think he'll be the key.
They misuse him.
Yeah, they do.
Misuse Breece Hall the same way the Bears misuse, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me, DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only difference, though, is that it seems the Bears are starting to lean on DeAndre a lot more. The past games, they've looked a lot better, and it's a bit more even in terms of run versus pass. I think with the Jets, though, the Jets have kind of went all in on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they did. And Brian, we talked about this a lot during the summer. What did I tell you? If Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson do not have it going, who scares you on this Jets offense? Because Mike Williams can't stay healthy.
Nope.
And it would be the craziest thing if Devontae Adams came here, because that wouldn't fix anything.
It would be even more of a clown show than it is now with Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers threw Robert Saleh under the bus. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Now I actually have a question. I have a question for you guys. I'll chime in as well. Okay. Where does Devontae Adams end up? Snowman, I'm gonna start with you. We're gonna go around the room. Snowman, where does Devontae Adams end up?
That's a damn good question, because I wouldn't want him in San Francisco, because that would be a distraction and a half, especially with all the injuries.
Yeah.
I think he winds up. I have a wild card.
Okay.
Giants.
Oh.
Giants. That's a wild card for me. Yes, he wants to play. Yes, he wants to play for the Jets, and he's made that clear. But what if the Giants, or what if the Giants? And I hate bringing this up, but I got to do it for Droid's sake. What if Kansas City comes in with one hell of an offer? Because whoever lands Devontae Adams, it'll be like Christian McCaffrey being signed by the 49ers 3 years ago. Victor, where do you think Devontae Adams lands?
As much as we do need a receiver, I don't think he should go to Dallas. What if he takes a trip to San Diego?
They need someone big.
What if he goes to the Chargers?
They need a big receiver.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, Victor and Brian and Shane, all three of you. I don't see the Raiders trying to help out a divisional rival. You get what I'm saying?
No, they won't.
True.
That's the thing. You know what? I think Shane, where do you think Devontae Adams ends up? Let's
hear
it.
I've been hearing around the water cooler dealing with the Jets and Saints being the two obvious picks. But there's also two other teams that aren't even remotely being discussed. That's Pittsburgh and Buffalo.
Yeah.
Wow. Shane must have been reading my mind. Because that's who I think ends up getting Devontae Adams.
I would not be surprised if he ends up in Buffalo.
The Buffalo Bills, because look at it like this. Look at it like this. The Bills right now have a wide receiver by committee thing going on.
Yes.
You know, and that's cute now, but later in the season, November, December, going into the playoffs, you need that number one option. And then that's where you can insert Devontae Adams, because now if I play Buffalo, there's not a receiver that puts fear into my defensive backfield saying, look, we gotta play cover one. We gotta play cover two on him. We're not letting him beat us. Khalil Shakir's been good. Keon Coleman is a rookie. Yeah, Buffalo, they don't have a true number one option. I think
And here's the thing dealing with Buffalo's the fact they're only averaging 15 points the last couple of games and 256 yards of offense.
And also, what if you give Justin Fields another weapon in Pittsburgh too?
See, I don't think he'd be happy in Pittsburgh. I think he'd be as unhappy in Pittsburgh as he is in Vegas.
Yeah,
I
believe
would.
that too. I believe that too.
I mean, granted, Pittsburgh was in the running for Ayuk, but that didn't end up panning out for him. So that's the only other reason they'd want to try to get a receiver is they need someone that can go deep with Fields.
Right.
Right.
But let's just be about the Ayuk situation. No one else was ever in the running for Ayuk except San Francisco. You can say what you want about the pictures he took with the Redskins and all the tweets supposedly that came out with him wanting to go to the Steelers and all the stories that come out. No one was in the running for Ayuk except Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, and he accepted what turned out to be their original offer.
Go figure.
Go figure, indeed. That's Chris Simpson joining us here on the program. We got to go to a break. But Chris, always a pleasure, my friend, to talk football with you. We'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. You guys have a great rest of the show, okay?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Man, this is a get-right game for San Francisco, and I believe they're going to get right. All of our picks are brought to you by BetUS.com. Use the code Snowman when you make your bets and get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. BetUS.com, where the game begins. We've hit halftime, and I got a funny story to tell you, and then Chris Dietz will join us. Oh, boy. And there's a few games on the watch clock.
Yes, there are.
We're going to have some fun. Snowman in the morning, halftime. Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the morning.
Whether it's the men's college game,
the way that this season has been going, anything is possible.
The women's college game,
and how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
The WNBA,
AJ Wilson, Brianna Stewart 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmakers blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete! 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 Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
You know, another team that has a get right game coming off of a bye, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, big shout out to the International Ice Italiano Estesso McCoffey, the Supervillain Extraordinaire. And no, Ryan, we're not trying to crap on the Jets.
No, we're not.
We're just crapping on their quarterback and the whole coaching
who's
situation.
Doing everything I expected him to do.
But Snowman, before we get any further, 3 points of order for your 49ers to take this game. What are they?
Run the hell out of JP Mason. Run the absolute bloody hell out of JP Mason. Give him the same workload that you gave him in game 1. That's key number 1. Key number 2, stuff the middle. We're missing some pieces on defense, but you got to come together and stuff the middle because Seattle's going to try to make this an ugly game. Thirdly, and most importantly, Brandon Ayuk has to see the football. Matter of fact, I'll combine that. Brandon Ayuk and George the Animal Kittle need to see the ball. They do those 3 things, they win handily.
Okay. I'll give you a 4th one. 3 words. Red zone
touchdowns.
Red zone
touchdowns. They got to be efficient in the red zone.
Because the thing is that they've been efficient in the red zone by getting points. The problem is it's always 3.
it's always 3 and not 7. So, and without Moody, they're going to gamble a whole lot more on fourth down.
Yes.
Especially if they're close. And I tell you what, they're only 2 for 6 on fourth downs this year inside the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
They have to score points, and we're talking about 7 and not 3. They do those things, those 4 things, and they'll win handily. I truly believe they're going to win handily tonight.
I do too. I just don't see Seattle being able to handle the onslaught, but it has to be a 49er onslaught like we seen.
It must.
What we saw last year. It has to be.
It must. It absolutely must. Speaking of football, we got a whole bunch of college football coming your way this weekend, especially on Saturday, as we present to you College Football Now, presented by BetUS.com. The first game, the Texas Longhorns, top-ranked, take on the 18th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. That's at 3:30. Then at 7:30, the second-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes take on the third-ranked Oregon Ducks. And then at 10:30 to close things out, the Kansas State Wildcats take on the Colorado Buffaloes. All that, plus scores and updates and a whole lot more on Saturday as we give you College Football Now, presented by BetUS.com. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Like I said, there's a whole lot of college football going on, and as mentioned, we're awaiting deets to arrive. But we got a whole bunch of college football. We got a whole bunch of college football going on. Speaking of football, the droid is with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How do you feel, man? Sounds like you got a little sleep.
I got more than plenty of sleep.
Good. Good.
For once in my life, I got 8 hours of sleep.
Good.
8 hours of sleep should be attainable. But given the 21st century, it ain't.
It really is.
I'll tell you something funny. This morning, my wife has 3 alarms on her phone. I have 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 6:30 and 7. She has an extra alarm at 5:30. We didn't hear nothing.
Any of them
until 7 o'clock. We heard nothing. You understand me?
Yeah.
We listen. By the time I heard her 7 o'clock alarm, we were out, and it's been a while since Jody had that kind of sleep. You know what I mean? It's been a while since she's had that kind of sleep. God bless her. She's working 50, 60 hours a week. And she comes home late 3 times out of the week. She comes home late. Right?
Yeah.
But last night, I came to bed a little after 11. I told myself, cut everything off at 11 o'clock.
Right.
So I shut it down. I came into the room. And she was gone.
Dunsky.
3 sheets to the wind, gone.
Yeah.
Okay. And I settled in and I thought, okay, it's gonna take me at least an hour to wind down and go to sleep. Wrongola. 10 minutes and I was out. I put my headset on. 10 minutes, I was out cold. I was out cold. And we didn't hear anything. Like I said, we heard nothing. I didn't hear my 6:30 alarm, even with the headset I have in my ear. Jody got me this little wraparound headset for Christmas. Didn't hear a damn thing. And we heard her. I somehow heard her alarm at 7 o'clock. She didn't. I'm expecting her to move, right? Nothing. And my sleepy ass, I'm like, baby, you got to wake up. She said, what? I said, it's 7 o'clock. And she shouted a deleted expletive. And I shouted the same thing. And off the races we went.
I mean, to recreate it, it's just like, what?
Exactly.
7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Like,
All right. To the feedback zone presented by Fanatics. The Inspired Truth broadcast dropped by a little earlier. Sorry we couldn't get to you. He says, good morning, all. Good morning to you. Ryan McCoffey, a.k.a. Ryan McCarthy, says, good morning, Snow Crew. Looks like I joined just in time for the crew to crap on the Jets. Believe me, we're not crapping on the Jets. We're just crapping on Aaron Rodgers. Big difference. Hopefully play calling is taken out of the hands of Nathaniel Hackett, and we see a different Jets team on offense on Monday. Oh, yeah, because they play the Buffalo Bills. And I have a little surprise for y'all as I will appear on the Saturday edition of No Credentials Required. I will be filling in for Dustin, who is out of town. I'll do that one. That's at 8:30. That's at 10 a.m. I beg your pardon. I'm so used to saying 8:30. That's the time I usually get up on Saturday. 10 a.m. Eastern time. Yours truly,
Remember,
Ryan McCoffey on the Saturday edition of No Credentials Required. And then I switch headsets and put this one on, drop the microphone, and we're off to the races with college football now as we start our coverage at 1 o'clock. Go ahead, Droid.
remember, it's no credentials required, where you don't need a press pass
to talk sports. Absolutely not. And I love it. I love it. You don't need a press pass to talk sports, but we're all going to have one come Super Bowl time. That's what I want to do. I want to take my entire crew to New Orleans, outfit them with press passes as we walk through the doors. Yep, as we walk through the doors of the Superdome.
Good old NOLA.
As we walk through the doors of the Superdome. Shady Sports Network, one of our network carriers, says tune in tonight for Dynasty Academy Summer Showcase Northern Lights and an interview with AF1 CEO, with Arena Football One CEO Jerry Curse. That's all tonight on the Shady Sports Network, one of our partners in carrying Snowman in the morning. We got a break, and when we come back, we got some college football games to look at and some picks to make. Good Lord. Snowman in the morning, back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the morning.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
The way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
the women's college game,
And how passionate Ancient Reef was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
the WNBA,
AJ Wilson, Brianna Stewart, 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out. on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
The NBA season is here, but we don't have an NBA person until now. Beginning next Wednesday during hour 1, you will see and hear the smooth, sultry sounds of one Michael Conceição, my dear friend from Boston. He'll join us every Wednesday during hour 1 to talk all things NBA. Beginning next Wednesday, 8:35 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. All right, y'all. Booty! Exactly. All right. Let's make some picks, shall we?
Okay.
And Shane gave me one hell of a slate. This is, you remember last week we were talking about some of these games are just booty, and then some of them turned out not to be.
Oh, yeah.
Especially one of them that we didn't even mention.
Vanderbilt.
Vandy with the upset.
Mm-hmm. We should have picked that game. All right, let's go. All of our picks today. Let me get this up here.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? There it is. All of our picks today are presented by BetUS.com. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Use the code Snowman to get 125% deposit match on your deposit. We begin tomorrow with the Northwestern Wildcats taking on the Maryland Terrapins. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Shane, the numbers.
Maryland favored by 11. The over/under at 46. Snowman, give me your thoughts.
Over under 46. Northwestern picked to cover 11. I'm stupid for doing this, but I'm going to call for the upset and go for Northwestern.
Vic, holla at me. What you got?
Same thing. I'm going to go with the Wildcats on the upset.
Droid?
I did a bit of Road to Glory for a while, and when I was a 1-star, when I was I think the minimum you can get is like a 1-star or 2-star.
Mm-hmm.
Maryland was the only team to offer me a scholarship.
Nice.
Wow.
So I will be loyal to my team and go with the Maryland Terrapins.
I wouldn't be surprised if they won. Would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either, but quite frankly, I'm calling an upset right here, right now.
Yep.
And it's going to be covered.
Droid, the lone gun.
And I know that Maryland is hurting without, Tua's brother, but still. Because I think they got Edwards Jr. at quarterback.
Yeah. Yep. I still think NU's prime for an upset. They nearly pulled off the upset against Indiana, but Indiana's offense was just too strong.
Mm-hmm.
We start Saturday's slate with this one: Wisconsin and Rutgers at high noon. Shane, the numbers.
Rutgers favored 2.5. The over/under set at 41.5. No, man.
I don't trust Wisconsin, especially on the road in New Jersey. I'm going to take the home team to cover and to win.
Vic.
Ooh, this has been two teams I haven't really looked at all that much, but I gotta give it.
Shame on you.
Age. I don't have either of those games on my networks. I remember Fox is very greedy when it comes to who they cover.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
But yeah, I'm going with Rutgers to win.
Druid?
There are too many teams that are just red and white.
That's true. That is true.
True. I mean, you're not wrong.
Nope.
There's a reason they're like coastals, whole setup is because they at least have unique colors.
Yes.
But I chose them last week. I was wrong. But I'll choose them again this week. Give me the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
I'll clean sweep it. I don't trust Wisconsin on the road, and I think Rutgers is just going to be a little bit too powerful with their hometown behind them.
The next game we have on the schedule goes like this. The Washington Huskies taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. That's at high noon in a Rose Bowl rematch. And you got to remember the 90s when the Huskies were strong under Don James. I was going to say Don Nehlen, but he coached West Virginia. Don James was the coach of those old Washington Huskies, and I'll start the thing. But Shane, first the numbers.
Iowa favored by 3. The over-under is set at 42.
After their upset of Michigan, I'm going with the road team. I'm going with Washington to cover and to win.
I'm actually going the other way. I'm going with Iowa. I don't know. So this seems screwy. I like Iowa.
Yeah.
Right.
They're at home. The animal came out of this school.
Yes, he did.
Give me Iowa.
All right.
Hang on a second.
Sorry about that.
I'm going with you on this one, Snowman. I'm calling for another upset. I love the way Washington's been doing their thing. It's going to be a back-and-forth game, but I got Washington coming out of this late.
And I love the way Washington...
time we do I notice every time we're split, it's always me and Vic with the same pick.
That's true.
That's why we love doing the picks. Next one, Stanford and Notre Dame, ranked 11th, 3:30 kickoff from South Bend, Indiana. The numbers are
Notre Dame favored by a country mile. Over-under is set at 45.5.
Give me Notre Dame to cover, to win, and to blow that over-under number out of the water. Stanford has nothing to offer.
Vic?
Yep, I'm going the exact same way. I'm going with Indy to just destroy Stanford.
Good.
If this was last year, I'd give Stanford a chance, but this is not last year. This is this year. Give me Notre Dame.
Football Jesus about to put a foot in the cardinal ass. Give me Notre Dame by a long road.
And we got a big one coming up. It's the first game of our triple header as the Texas Longhorns, the number 1 Texas Longhorns, take on the 18th ranked Oklahoma Sooners from the Cotton Bowl. Instead of it representing the Big 12,
rivalry.
The Red River rivalry, indeed. Instead of it representing the Big 12, it represents the SEC. Oh, did you miss what we're calling? It's this one. The Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners, 1 versus 18, 3:30 kickoff. We'll be up at 3 with our coverage. All right. I'm going with the Longhorns. First the numbers.
Longhorns favored by 14.5. The over-under set at 50.5.
They cover and they blow the over-under out of the water. Go for it.
Vic?
Same way. I usually do not go against Jim Ross. I will this time. Give you the Longhorns to cover and to win.
Good.
I might be solo on this one.
Uh-oh.
I want the upset, and I'm calling for the upset. Give me Boomer Sooners.
Oh, he's going for the upset.
You might be kissing Jim Ross's ass alone on this one, buddy. I'm sorry. I love the way Texas has been playing so far this season. They have been dynamic on all aspects of the game. Oklahoma's got nothing. This might be being played in the Cotton Bowl, but brother, Texas is going to walk out of here with a W.
Yep.
I'm a KU fan. I don't want to pick either team.
Right. But if he has to pick the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. I'm going with Texas to blow the game open midway through the second quarter. Here's an interesting one. BYU, ranked 14, take on the Arizona Wildcats.
Oh.
That's at 4 p.m. in Provo, Utah. The numbers are?
BYU favored by 4. The over-under set at a clean 49.
Give me the home team, but I'm going to take the points. Arizona has something goofy up their sleeve. Don't ask me what, but they got something goofy up their sleeve.
Vic?
Yeah, I'm going to go the same way. I'm going to go with Arizona on this one.
You're right.
You do not pick against BYU at home. We all know what happened last time we picked against BYU at home.
Yes.
So I'm picking BYU.
So like,
they obliterated Kansas State.
I'm taking BYU as well, but I'm with you, Snowman. It's not going to be the 4 spread. I can guarantee you that right now. Something wacky is going to happen late.
Speaking of wacky, we got this track meet at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. 2 versus 3 in a possible playoff preview. 7:30 is your kickoff. The Ohio State University Buckeyes take on the Oregon Ducks. And the numbers are?
Ohio favored by 3.5. The over-under set at 54.
Okay. So the number is set at 54, and Ohio State's favored by 3.5. Hell no! I'm going with the Ducks at home, but it'll be a track meet. I'm going to take the points.
Vic?
I would usually go with the Ducks because I like what the Ducks are doing, but I got to go with the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Good.
So this is Dylan Gabriel versus
Will Howard.
Oh, Will Howard. You got 2 possible first-round pick QBs.
Yep.
And this is a possible Big Ten championship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord. I would usually say, no contest, so I don't have to pick, but you're going to make me pick.
Right.
Yes, we are.
Give me the Ohio State University.
We're split. Or I might be the lone wolf.
No, you're not. I love what Oregon's doing at home. Ohio State's a little. Yeah. That's the northeast side of me coming out there.
It's all right. It's all right.
Ohio State's been way too inconsistent offensively. Yes, they've been, putting numbers up, but it's also been inconsistent in this series they've had with Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Ohio State fans, but quack, boys. Give me the Ducks.
Let's go down to Tiger Stadium in Death Valley. We have the 4th-ranked Mississippi Rebels, Ole Miss, taking on the LSU Tigers in front of 100,000 at Tiger Stadium.
Ole Miss is up by 3.5 in this one. The over/under. Here's your track meet: 62.
That may be another track meet. Give me the Tigers to take. Give me the Tigers. Tigers will win this track meet, but it'll require 50 points to win it. I just believe that's going to be a track meet, just like Ohio State, Oregon.
Vic?
I'm going the same way. And actually, if I did not go to Chicago State University, I would have went to LSU. Go Tigers.
I love it. It.
Give me Louisiana State.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Love it. Go ahead, Shano.
Oh, we all know the biggest name coming out of LSU has been Olivia Dunn. Her effect on everything athletic-wise has been huge. It ain't going to change this week. LSU romps Ole Miss.
Woo-wee! Down the stretch we come, and Shane threw this one at me. 11th-ranked Iowa State going to Morgantown to take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. The numbers are?
Iowa State favored by 3, over/under set at 53.
I'll take the road team to cover and to win in Morgantown.
Vic?
I'm going to go with West Virginia on this one. Call me crazy, but I'm going to go with them.
We're all crazy.
Well, you are crazy because I'm going with the home of the Purdy's.
Home of the Purdy's.
Remind me
First
what
it's the Strouds. Now it's the Purdy's. God, I love that.
The Purdyites.
Remind me what that is because my brain's still waking up here.
Iowa State.
Iowa State. The home
Well, I hate to say it, but Machine Gun Kelly said it best. Lonely road, take me home. Give me West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised if that turns into a track meet.
Oh,
I wouldn't be
Do
surprised
not be
either.
surprised if that turns into
I actually think
a
it
track
will.
meet.
Wait, the reason I'm picking Iowa State is because West Virginia barely beat Kansas. 1-4 Kansas.
Mm-hmm. And
Last
I love
one.
when Droid went off about Kansas.
Yeah, I know, right?
After that game.
This game
We've all had games where we've gone off about. All right, last one before the break. You have the 18th ranked Kansas State Wildcats taking on the Colorado Buffaloes in Boulder. That's the final game of our triple header. We will pick up that game in progress pending the finish of Ohio State and Oregon. The numbers are what?
Kansas State 3.5 favorites. The over/under at 56.5.
Good. Give me Kansas State to cover and to win. Deion Sanders and company comes crashing back to earth.
Vic?
He don't want to take this game.
He really
I
doesn't.
really don't. But I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say that the Buffaloes charge through.
Droid?
Ain't no way Kansas State's gonna allow themselves to get ran through by the Buffaloes. Give me K-State.
And I hate this. Yeah. Ryan, I came up with something relatively close to that. A mountain committee of Buffalo buffoonery.
The delusional buffoonery of Buffalo's nation.
And I'm sorry, but that committee is going to be very upset by the time this game is over. Give me Kansas State the entire way.
So I'm actually going to be in the minority here.
And those are our picks for college football. And all of
who
you got, Droid?
There's a specific team I was looking at, but I don't remember if they played this week.
Being
Droid.
Come on. After the upset, why don't you pick this game?
Which is what?
Vandy, Kentucky. 3-2 Vandy versus 3-2 Kentucky.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt.
That's our bonus pick. Vanderbilt. I don't see Kentucky winning this game.
That's not a game.
No. And all of our picks are brought to you by BetUS.com. Use the code Snowman and get 125% deposit match on your deposit. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Our triple hitter are 3 games that our guest is going to look at, and in lieu of a break, we'll bring them on right now.
Passionate.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight!
Totally.
This one has a chance!
DIETZ.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
And here's the full-blown fibrillation joining us right now as the doors have been kicked wide open. We're sorry we're late in bringing him on, but it's Chris Dietz, our good friend, joining us to talk some college football. Morning, Dietz.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
What a weekend last weekend was.
Oh my God, yes.
First of all,
Diego Pavia. The only name that was lined up our scoreboards yet that last week.
Yes.
First and foremost, congratulations to the Mets, man.
We drink to the New York
Mets.
I'm surprised you're upright, dude.
Listen, we drink in salute of the New York Mets, and I'll make a bold prediction, and I said it already, and I'll say it again. Ain't nobody beating the Mets in the NLCS. They are too hot right now. Deeds, talk about it.
They're right now. The bats finally woke up. That last game in Milwaukee, the bats finally woke up, and that's all the Mets have been waiting for all year. Didn't we all know what the championship series is about? It's going to come down to pitch. It's going to come down to can the Mets bullpen last? That's what's going to come down to.
Yeah. Ryan McCarthy joining us from Saratoga, New York. He says it's the grimmest bump. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh my goodness. And I have a present for you.
Okay.
We played this earlier. Let's repeat our call of the day presented by Cricket Wireless. I think Dietz will be happy with our choice.
Now the pitch. Swinging a drive towards the gap in right center. It's pretty deep. It's back near the wall. It's gone. It's gone. Francisco Lindor. He may have just outdone himself. He has hit a grand slam into the Phillies bullpen in right center field. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-1. They were famished for the big hit all night, and Francisco Lindor just provided a feast.
The great Howie Rose, the legendary Howie Rose on the call. That's from the New York radio side and our video side, courtesy of Fox. That's for you, Dietz.
Man, I love Howie Rose. There's nothing better than listening to Howie Rose call a Mets win.
You know what?
One thing you don't do as a pitcher is try to slip an upstairs fastball by Frankie.
Never.
On those in a heartbeat.
You do not do that. All right, let's race ahead as we come toward our closing. There are 3 games that Dietz wanted to look at, but before we do that, let's have Dietz's top 5. Let's have this, our Totally DIETZ top 15 presented by BetUS.com. I'll put the team up, and Dietz will shortly talk about them. At 15, you got the Boise State Broncos.
They're led by the running game, and they've been leaning on that running back all year long, and that's just where they sit right now. Slowly but surely in Boise State ways, just creeping along. So I got them just in there at 15.
At 14, you got the Clemson Tigers.
Clemson, only loss of the year was first game of the year against Georgia. So you got to give them their props where they're due.
At 13, you have Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, same thing. One stumble so far, and then they got that win against Texas A&M. That's the biggest thing.
At 12, you have the Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss again, another team. One stumble on their, but the biggest thing will come this week against LSU.
Down to 11, you have the BYU Cougars at undefeated at 5-0. Dietz is muted.
Undefeated. I can't wait to see them play Arizona this weekend.
I can't wait either. To our top 10 we go. You have another undefeated team in the Iowa State Cyclones, and they're on a bit of an upset alert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, going into West Virginia, always a tough place to play. But that's the thing about Iowa State is their toughest game so far is against Iowa. So they've got to get some better wins under their belt. But they're 5-0, so you gotta keep them trucking along.
At number 9, you have said LSU Tigers at 4-1.
LSU, another team, a hiccup early in the season, one of those weird, wacky games. Since then, they've been trucking right along, and I love the way this quarterback's playing.
Number 8, we go to the checkerboard and have the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, well, another team, one of those teams from last week that just, Arkansas came came in, punched him in the mouth, and we saw what happened to a Josh Heupel team when they got punched in the mouth. They couldn't get back up. So,
speaking of getting punched in the mouth, here's another game that Dietz wanted me to highlight. It's Penn State at 5-0. They got USC coming in to visit them this weekend.
Yeah, this is my upset alert, and just because Penn State is going into going into the Coliseum, going in to play USC, USC is gonna be ready to go, especially after what happened last week.
At 6, you have the miracle Miami Hurricanes, who were down by 25 to California and came back and won by a point last weekend.
Yeah, what a game that was! What a game that was, and what a way to cap off a great night of college football. I mean, 2:00 in the morning here on the East Coast, and Miami is sitting there. You're sitting there going, "Wow, Miami's getting blown out," and all of a sudden, boom, they kick it on. When they kick it on, they get it going.
At 5, you have quack, the Oregon Ducks, who have a big one coming this weekend against Ohio State.
Oregon, I mean, I'm going to say the same thing about in the number 3 slot, but whoever wins this game this weekend is probably going to vault all the way up to number 1. That's how big this game is in Oregon.
At 4, you have the now once beaten Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah, a lot of people drop Bama a lot. They lost to Vanderbilt. Yeah. It's not about who you lose to; it's about who you beat. They beat Georgia, so that's not coming off the record. That's not coming off the board just because they lost to Vanderbilt. So everybody needs to calm down with Bama's falling off. Like, they're still in the race. They still got a big game with Texas coming up. They still got a lot coming down the stretch with the SEC schedule.
Absolutely. To the Big Ten we go. At number 3, we find the undefeated Ohio State Buckeyes. And boy, they got a big one coming this weekend in Autzen Stadium.
And they got a really good – I don't know if you saw the play this kid, the freshman kid made. Smith. He made a one-handed catch in the end zone.
Jeremiah Smith.
I saw that.
He's 18 years old, and he snatched the ball with one hand. Just boom.
I saw that play. And actually, I was calling it with my dad. I was on a call with my dad when that play happened. I was shook.
I mean, it had Brad Nessler's voice cracking when he made that catch. And if you make Brad Nessler's voice crack, it's going to crack anyway, as long as he's been doing it. And I love Brad Nessler. To number 2 we go, and we got them dogs.
Georgia.
Yeah. Same thing I said about Alabama. The same thing can be said about Georgia. I mean, everybody wants to talk about Georgia. Oh, Georgia lost. They lost by 4 points at Alabama.
Right.
Like, they had the lead with going into the final drive. They had the lead in Tuscaloosa. Not many people can say that. Not many people can say that. And yeah, they walked away. They lost the game. That's fine. They beat Clemson to start the year. I already got Clemson on the board. So there's no reason why they should be knocked anywhere really down. And they've got a lot in front of them in the SEC. So they'll be fine sitting where they are. But there's no doubt about it. Georgia's one of the best teams I've seen all year.
And they have to go to Texas in a couple of weeks. October the 19th, I believe that game is. And at number 1, you have the undefeated Texas Longhorns.
It doesn't matter who's back there at quarterback for Texas. They are Shark has them. He has them rolling.
Yes.
The question is, what happens when they get in a defensive? What happens when they get in a defensive battle? And we haven't seen that yet out of them. Well, I think we'll see that this weekend.
And that's our Totally DIETZ Top 15 presented by BetUS.com. I told you, Dietz, I had some stuff ready. For you. And I also got a few games we're going to quickly look at as we're running out of time. let's look ahead to this weekend. One of the games that Dietz gave me that's an upset alert. It's the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners in the Red River rivalry. 3:30 is your kickoff time. We're going to start at 1 with college football now. Our pregame show starts at 3. Dietz, take a look in your crystal ball. What do you see for this game?
Crazy things happen at the Texas State Fair, man. This game, every time you think it's going to be a blowout one way, it ends up being like a 10-3 game.
Yep.
That's just the way this game always goes. When you think it's going to be a rout, it ends up being as close as you can get. And with Oklahoma, they can play defense, man. Texas hasn't seen a team that can play defense yet.
Right.
We all know Coach Venables is going to have that defense ready to go. And it is in a rivalry game at the Texas State Fair. It's the wacky things, just crazy things happen, and I can see the ball bouncing for Oklahoma in this one.
Man, we see crazy things happen. Think 3 years ago, Texas, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma put up 50 to come all the way back from 28 points down to win that game. Let's go to Autzen Stadium. The Ohio State Buckeyes ranked number 2 and the third-ranked Oregon Ducks. 7:30 is your kickoff from Autzen Stadium. We'll have the call beginning at 7 with our College Football Now pregame show. What are you looking at, Dietz?
I'm looking at the sideline. Chip Kelly returns to Oregon as the Ohio State offensive coordinator. That's gonna give Ohio State the edge.
Oh, he's calling for Ohio State to win this one. I'm looking at Oregon, and I like what they're doing, and I like their offense. But as Dietz mentioned, they haven't seen a team that plays defense yet. Oregon will see that team this weekend in Ohio State, but I still got the Ducks to cover and to win that one. And last but not least, before we get out of here, you got 18th ranked Kansas State going to Colorado to take on the Colorado Buffaloes. We will pick that game up in progress as our start time for that one is 10:30. Let's go, Dietz. What are you seeing?
So this one's gonna be a killer because this is the game. This is the game Dion has been brought here for. Colorado, yeah, they stumbled out of the gate. Now, and it's funny because nobody's talking about them. Nobody's talking about Colorado, and now they got a shot to show the world, hey, we're for real. And this is the statement game for Deion Sanders. If they can't win this one, then you can't. Then they're not over the hump yet. If they win this one, look out. It's going to be like a firecracker. It's going to go out. All of a sudden, they're going to be talked about all over the place.
Yeah, this is the game that is going to propel them back into like, hey, we're still here. We're still here. And right now, they're like the canary in the coal mine where we don't hear nothing about them. We don't hear nothing about the Buffaloes at all.
Even sitting at 4-1, and I had a great friend say to me, look for Colorado to be ranked in the rankings after their most recent win, that comeback win. Why aren't they in the rankings?
Oh, again, they're not in the rankings because nobody's talking about them. I mean, basically because basically the only thing everybody's talking about is Travis Hunter and how many snaps Travis Hunter's playing. That's pretty much the only thing they're talking about with Colorado. They're not even talking about the team. And I guarantee you, if they beat Kansas State, I guarantee you all that changes. They're going to be all of a sudden they're going to be the darlings of the league. I bet they shoot up into the teens, not just enter the top 25. They skyrocketed.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. That's our look ahead to the weekend and the game and the upset alert games of the week. And all of this is presented by BetUS.com. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Don't forget, folks, college football now is in full swing beginning this Saturday. is presented by BetUS. We'll start everything at 3:30 with our play-by-play. Yours truly will have the call for Texas, Oklahoma. Then I'll shift to Autzen Stadium as the two-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes and the third-ranked Oregon Ducks. And then we got the upset game of the week. It's Colorado and Kansas State. All of that on College Football Now. College Football Now will begin our coverage, and our play-by-play coverage will begin at 3:30 with Texas and Oklahoma. That's Chris Dietz joining us here as he does every single Thursday. Dietz, always a pleasure, my friend. We love you, and we can't wait to talk to you next week.
Always a pleasure, guys. And of course, my rankings are out. They'll always be coming down. And I love the way the rankings have gone this week. Oh, they bumped up Ohio State and Oregon just for this game.
Yep.
I wonder I just wonder what's going to happen with the winner of that game.
Yeah, I wonder that too. Thank you, Dietz. We love you. We'll talk to you next week.
Of course.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
DIETZ.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
This is crazy, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Yes, I do too.
Well, my wife gave me a little gift yesterday. I've taken a picture of it and I sent it to the guys in the group chat. But she made me one of these, a Colts pumpkin.
A Colts pumpkin.
She made me a Colts pumpkin. And then she said yesterday, she was getting ready for bed. She says, I would have made one for your 49ers, but I forgot the colors and my brain was dead. Look, I get it. I get it. Your brain goes, puh.
Just remember, rule 5 of the house.
The answer is always the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes.
Even though I'm doing the 49ers game tonight. We'll start everything at 8 p.m. with our play-by-play coverage. I should be home by then, but I need a nap. So we're getting out of here. Have a great day. God bless. And remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope you all are too. So long, everybody. Don't forget 49ers and Seahawks tonight on Snowman Multimedia. We'll see you tomorrow.